Bada boom, bada bang, bada bing. We are back in action with the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0. If you're looking for a new marathon racing shoe, you know where to go. That was an accidental rhyme. I do that all the time. Go to the Supwell app. And now give me a round of applause, also known as a clap. Supwell app, it's the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace for gently used running shoes and for new running shoes. It's where I got my Nike Pegasus Premium. It's where I got my S4 Plus. And it's where one lucky person, actually a few lucky people, got pairs of Cielo X1 2.0s from me because they were winners of the January Daily Trainer Getaway. I said getaway, I meant giveaway because we did a giveaway. We're not doing a giveaway right now, but you can do a giveaway of your shoes. You can list your old shoes and get money. That's how a marketplace works. So make sure you get on the app. It's also the best hobby jogger community out there. Enjoy today's video and stack mileage. Need to check if I got anything in the mail. Dang, I'm waiting on something. Look at that, man, that looks so good. Waiting on something big, but it didn't come today. I'm shipping from a special shoe, shipping all the way from Idaho. You know where Idaho is? It's all the way on the west coast. It's almost as far as California.
That's what the zeal us do. Never quit, even when they slow. Oh, you thought them was some tan good.
Head of lower school was wearing the bandai today. We're on the way back home here from dropping Mason off at school. Trying to figure out my day today. So Monday was a holiday, meaning I got a lot fewer miles than I normally would have. Mondays I usually get 20, 16 miles minimum, 14 miles minimum, and the way that I can get 100 miles a week consistently week on week is during the weekdays when I have time, when I'm not with the family all day and I can sneak out for some afternoon miles during lunch break, I have to get at least 14 miles every day during the week. So Monday was a holiday, I only got 6 miles, so I've been playing a lot of catch up this week. Friday I typically like to take as a recovery day or at least a down day where I get 10, 12 miles, but that's not going to happen today because we need to stack some serious mileage. I'm at 59 for the week heading into the weekend, so I got to get at least 20 today, maybe even 22. So when we get back, it's going to be straight to the shoe market, pick out my shoe for the morning run, and then we can get out there and start grinding them out. This is also a recovery week, down week, so I'm not doing any workouts this week. Just accumulating a lot of relaxed miles, let those legs freshen back up, and then next week I'll be out there grinding out some faster paces again. Almost home here. Nothing new came out today, I don't think, for music. I was listening to Larry June Currency, and now I'm listening to the Big X, The Plug, I'm super underrated, by the way, or I guess it's perfectly rated, but I was just late to it. The Take Care album by Big X the Plug. But shoe for this morning, I'm gonna go Cielo X1 2.0. I've only gotten one run in that thing, and I want to do some more testing on it. Now, this is gonna be a relaxed mileage day or an everyday mileage day, but with the number of miles I'm stacking, I don't mind getting some assistance from that rocker and the race foam and the carbon plate. So we'll go Cielo X1 2.0. The OG was great for stacking miles like this. The 2.0, my first run in it, I did a speed workout and it was just okay for the fast end speed. So hopefully it shines for this type of a day where we want to keep our legs fresh. We don't want something super aggressive, but want some sort of assistance. There was a chicken last night.
There was a chicken last night.
Alright, so I won't belabor the point here since I already did a full first run review in comparison with all the specs on the 2.0 to the OG. This one got a lot lighter. It's 220 grams now versus the OG was 270 grams. But what I did want to show you is, and this is the major change other than the weight, it's the width. So let's take a look at the width of the Cielo 2. And this is the main reason why, or sorry, the OG. This is the main reason why people loved the OG and why it was such a easy to run in shoe for everyday miles. Look at this. That's 89, 88 millimeters wide. Let's see at the widest point here. Coming in around 87 millimeters wide. The Cielo 2, this is down at 80. So they made it significantly narrower. The other thing is they moved the cutout from the outside of the shoe to the inside. You can see on the OG, the cutout is right here on the outside, and the 2, it's on the inside. So those are some of the things that are making the stability slightly worse. I felt that this cutout, especially on my left side, which is my weaker side, was pushing me at some paces, but it's one of those shoes where I felt once I locked into a groove with it, it was better. So my goal this morning is to get 14 miles out there, so we'll have some time to lock into a groove with it. So with that, let's go out there and lace up this puppy. So it's pretty cold out here today. It's 20, my Jeep said 23 American when we pulled back up here, which is -2 or 3 European. And so I don't always run race shoes for my relaxed miles, but when it's this cold, it's actually nice to use the race shoes or something with a race foam in it, because it'll make it easier to pop along in the cold. Because I get so stiff and slow in the cold. And also, oh, what the heck, I messed up there. Also, these foams are going to be less resistant to temperature change. These race foams perform better. Specifically, PIBA is known to not brick up. I'm not so sure about the other compounds. I know they're better than training foams. But in general, the race foams are not going to get as firm in the cold. So lacing up the 2.0 here, super weird in the midfoot. It has that tennis ball arch feeling where you're either going to be tipped to the back or tipped to the front. There's no standing flat-footed in this thing. Charlie has a pair, and she felt the same exact way. But yeah, plan is just to rack up mileage, see if we can get 14 this morning. I'm making pretty good time, so we should be able to. Let's go do this thing. Now, the original Cielo was always known for the comfort That's definitely still there in this foam. But man, this shoe just makes me work more than the last one. I can already feel it putting me up on my toes, working my hips. First time I ran it, and like Charlie said, take some time to get used to it. So I'm gonna give it a few miles, see if we can settle into a nice groove. Mile 1, 7:41 pace. Good bounce in these. I'm just still not getting that special quality I got out of the OG. Kind of feels like they ripped the heart and soul out of these. It's missing something. I'm not sure what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's missing something. So far, it feels just okay. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm spoiled. But I need that je ne sais quoi. Almost at mile 2 here. I am getting into a groove with this, but it is an aggressive shoe. This is, yeah, I think if you like the OG, man, for how it was so great for more relaxed paces and running a certain way, this is forcing me to get up on my toes. Does not feel like a cruiser. I'm at mile 4 here, clipping off 7:10s. It's a bit like the Skyward X, in that I just need to fall into it, just fall into that pace and let the shoe pop me along. If I try to hang back, it's like I'm fighting against the platform. But if I let the shoe do what it wants, it gives a lot of assistance. I read this article a few years ago about hot streaks. It's like a basketball player might have a hot hand in a game, or maybe even for a few weeks in a stretch of the season. Or if they're lucky, or have put the work in, maybe for a few years of their career. Mahomes had a hot streak. This article, I think it was in the Harvard Business Review or something like that, or maybe just Forbes online, was saying it's the same thing for office workers or people with other types of jobs, not just athletes. You can get on hot streaks. And likewise, you can get on cold streaks where nothing feels like it's clicking. Everything feels like a grind. All the numbers look tough. Let me know in the comments, what do you do when you're on a cold streak? How do you turn a cold streak into a hot streak? Or do you think it's just patience? I think this applies to running too. Sometimes we get on a hot streak, lots of great workouts, PRs left and right, hitting 5K PRs during threshold workouts, and other times we're hitting all our workouts and they feel like a 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. In baseball, there's this expression, bloop and a blast. Bloop and a blast, what does that mean? Say you're down 3-4 runs in the game. All you need to get back in it is a blooper from the other team. Maybe their second baseman misses a ground ball, goes through his legs. You get a double when it should have been an out, and then a blast. That's one guy on base. Next guy get up to bat, hits a homer out of the park. Bang. Now you're down 1 run instead of 3, and you have momentum. Big Mo. So that's what I always think about. If we're on a cold streak, man, just keep grinding daily. Keep putting the work in. And then we'll get a bloop and a blast. We just gotta wait for it. Mile 7, halfway there. Mile 12, 2 to go. Last mile. So I'm cruising now, we're almost done. But man, this thing is working my legs. You gotta have strong thighs and buttocks to run in this platform, because it puts you right up on your toes. It's almost like you're running downhill the entire time. There's additional eccentric contractions from how much it slants you up. I remember feeling this in the Alphafly at first too. Boom, that was mile 14 though. Bloop and a blast, baby. A bloop and a blast. Little 14 piece, something slight. How's that for a bloop and a blast? 7 miles, 27-second pace. We got to keep the mileage train rolling, baby. That's all there is to it. Another day, another morning run. Yeah, man, this is a hard shoe to figure out. And especially with the way I've been evaluating these shoes, most of them fit cleanly into one of those 2 categories I talked about the other day. The bruisers, the fast, aggressive shoes, like the Metaspeed shoes, the Alphafly, the Vaporfly, the Endorphin Elite, and the cruisers, the comfort shoes, like the SC Elite V4 and the OG. This is such a confusing shoe, man. It has elements of both in it. But 14 miles out here, almost 2-hour run, and my legs do feel pretty good. That's the confusing thing. It was working my legs, but they also feel good at the same time. They should have called it the Hoka Cielo X1 riddle. The Hoka Cielo X1 oxymoron. Mermaid pack. Can you see the sparkles on camera? It has this really cool bright shiny sparkle effect on the blue. But yeah, this is a hard shoe to figure out. It has lots of cushion in the midfoot and the forefoot, but it's narrow, and because of the geometry of it, it really puts me up on that midfoot landing zone. It's almost impossible to run with a relaxed form. So this is what I was realizing on the last mile here. You have to have strong upper legs. At least that's what I'm feeling so far. And I'm glad I'm doing another run in this today so I can have more insights, figure it out, especially at a more relaxed pace on tired legs, which is why I do these double run day tests to simulate a longer run. And sometimes it's even better on these runs simulating a marathon, simulating how we feel on tired legs and the end of a long run, because today we've broken it up. We're at the end of a longer mileage week. We don't have the gels and the caffeine, and sometimes that extra kick helps me at the end of the long run. So the double will be a good test. But so far, it's feeling cushioned and comfortable underfoot. The foam itself is a comfortable foam versus something like the Sky Paris foam, which is a fast foam. So the foam itself is comfortable, but the geometry is aggressive. That's the difference between this and the Alphafly. The Alphafly midsole setup is not comfortable. That AirPod, in the way it's used in the Alphafly, is deployed for aggression, and the geometry of it is aggressive as well. So that entire setup is aggression. This one, the setup is aggression, but the foam is comfort. So it's a weird shoe to figure out. But let's throw up this morning drum. We got 14 miles today. I'm trying to accumulate some mileage at the end of the week here because of that 6 miles that I got on Monday on the holiday. So started off around I think I was 740 pace, dropped it down to 710, 720. Wasn't really feeling that and took a few hills, so I dropped back down to 740. However, right around I think it was mile 3 or 4, that's where I started locking into a groove with this shoe. And it is one of those shoes similar to what I'm wearing right now. That's the Asics Nova Blast 4, if you couldn't see it. It's one of those shoes that takes some time to warm up into. Charlie felt the same exact way because she tried it last week. I got her one of these for Valentine's Day. She tried it last week and she said, man, when I first started walking it and running it, I thought, heck no. But then after a few minutes, it started feeling better. And there's some shoes that do this. The Skyward X, the Cielo X1 OG a little bit. The Nova Blast does it a little bit. Some people feel that way about the Super Blast. I felt that way about the Mag Max. A lot of these bigger stack shoes, chunkier shoes, take some time to get going. And if you think about the entire purpose of a shoe like this, yes, marathon racing, but why does it have so much foam? It's to protect your legs over the course of a longer race. If I were going to race a 1 mile attempt, I wouldn't take this. Matter of fact, I was running 1 mile race pace repeats. They're 200 meters or 400 meters in this shoe. I actually think we had some 800s that day, and it didn't do that great because I didn't have that aggression and bite up front, again, because it's a more comfort-oriented foam, and there's more of it. So it's deployed in here. The execution of it is to protect your legs, and so they're not so beat up from the pounding that you might get with the lower stack shoe. That's the entire purpose of going up in stack height in these racing shoes and stuffing more foam in the midfoot. It's for bounce, yes, but it's for the protection and comfort. And that's where I'm getting more out of this shoe so far. It's more on the protective and comfort side versus the bounce side. I'm not feeling that explosive bounce of an Alphafly. And on the first run I did, which was those 200s and 800s, I wasn't feeling that explosive bounce. I wasn't feeling a lot of snap off of the plate or any benefit of the plate. The plate in here really seems more, it's just stabilizing the taller stack of foam. And that's why it's been such a weird one to figure out. But getting down to that 710, 7 flat pace, once I was warmed up into it, once I could really figure out how to use this platform, because it does require a different foot strike than my normal distance, lower cadence, I wouldn't say lower cadence, but my normal very efficient shuffling stride, where I could go for 5 hours running that. I did a treadmill marathon, right? That took about 3 hours, 10 minutes, just shuffling along at a 7:10 pace. This requires a different sort of foot strike for me. It requires me landing more up at the front. I have to extend, I have to roll through it in a different way. But once I learned how to work with it, it started feeling good. So it is a shoe that's going to take some, we often think of breaking in. You're going to have to break into it. And I could see a lot of people loving this if you are capable of landing up at the midfoot. The oxymoronic part of it is it's designed for distance. It has the taller stack. This is above 40 millimeters in the midfoot. I can measure it in if you really want me to, but looking at it with my eyes, it looks even maybe 50 millimeters of foam in the midfoot here. It's designed to be a longer distance shoe, but I was getting fatigued towards the end of this run. My muscles were getting fatigued for having to run in a certain way. So while it's reducing the impact forces, think about that high stack of foam, right? It reduces the impact forces, all the foam you have in here, but the geometry of the platform is placing undue stress, excess stress, more than I would get in another shoe like the Glide Ride Max or the Mag Max or a Nimbus, some other sort of cushion, comfortable training shoe that I would have used for a run like this. Even the Neo Zen could be something lighter weight. I know a lot of people are liking the Zoom Fly right now. Whatever shoe you typically would use for your medium long run during the week, if it's 8 miles or 10 miles, this is likely going to be placing more stress on your upper legs than that training shoe. And that's due to the geometry. So comfortable foam designed to go the distance, yes. Geometry, I'm just not so sure I could work with this platform for 3 hours, for 4 hours. Now, we can do anything, right? I did a gosh dang treadmill marathon in the Nike Pegasus Premium, but I'm feeling that. Right? That wouldn't be the ideal shoe. And I said it after I did that too. That wouldn't be my ideal shoe to do another 3.5 hour long run either. And the stability in that was iffy toward the end because the airbag, the AirPod, it's a fun, bouncy ride, but it was putting more undue stress on my lower legs because of that lateral instability, the side to side. And I actually still feel in my left ankle right now, which is my weakest spot. I've felt all week some soreness there. This is actually the best, and it's probably also due because it was 5 days ago, but this is the best I've felt running in a shoe with that ankle this week. Now, it's probably a 3 out of 10 in terms of discomfort, and it's going away, but it's not actually giving me any trouble with stability in the lower legs. It's really the stress it's placing on the upper legs as I get deeper into the run. And as I said out there, mile 13, 14, it feels a bit like running downhill. If you ever bombed the hard downhill, we talk about trigodoms, right? You have to trigodoms when you're training for an ultra marathon. You want to get that pounding in your upper legs. You want to get it really, your thighs feeling meaty and juicy. You want the next day just all that soreness in there, trigodoms. It felt like this shoe was triggering DOMs from the way the platform is forcing me to run. And I've felt this in a few other shoes. The Mizuno Wave Rebellion 2 and 3, they really put me up on my toes, and I have to land a certain way. I actually did a 22-mile long run in the Wave Rebellion Pro 3, and that's a really fun shoe. That foam, dare I say, is more exciting than this foam. That has a better bounce to it. This impact absorption is better. The density of this is higher. That is softer, but that's a more exciting foam. I think that's a better race foam than what's in here. But the Alphafly 3, that's another one that has that almost eccentric running trigodoms type of effect. So there's a few weird elements in this shoe that are coming together not quite how I would expect for what they're going for, and it's like they're trying to do too many things at once with it so far. They want to make it a fast, aggressive shoe, so they cut the weight, but they also want to make it a marathon shoe, so it has a higher stack in the midfoot. They want to make it comfortable, so the foam is dense, and they want to make it fast, so it has that aggressive rocker. But it's not the fastest because the foam is more comfort oriented. It's not the most comfortable because they've made it narrow, and they're trying to still make it a legal shoe in the back. So it's a bit of a mission, a mash. And like I said earlier this week with the Skyward X, if you just get a shoe and you run in it, say you've never run in it, or even you have the Alphafly 3 right now and you're looking for a new race shoe and you've had your heart set on the Cielo X1 2.0 because you've been wanting to try the Cielo and this is the new one. So you buy it, you don't love it on the first run, you put a few more runs in it, it starts being okay. It will be fine. Any shoe, unless it's seriously causing you pain, will be fine once you get into it. And that's the thing that we get lost sometimes. If you buy this and you're a sub 4 marathoner or even a 5-hour marathoner, but you're using this occasionally for some runs, you'll likely be able to adapt to it. It's just for me, and this is my role as a reviewer and an analyst on the channel, I'm thinking about the other products I've tested and how this compares. So far, it's not the best for any one thing. Now, maybe there's a use case of where this taller stack of more comfort-oriented foam combined with the aggressive rocker will feel best, and maybe I'll change my mind after this second run today. Maybe I need to be broken in to adapt with it, but so far it is a weird feeling shoe that I haven't quite been able to pinpoint. So that's my take on the Cielo X1 2.0 so far. It's a good foam. It's not a great foam. It's not the bounciest. It's very comfortable foam, but what they've done with the platform negates some of that comfort because it's making you run aggressively. It's almost like if Brooks took the Ghost Max and gave it the geometry of the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Flash 3, or they took the Ghost Max and they put a plastic plate in there and gave it the geometry of the Adidas Takumi Sen. It just doesn't make much sense. So I'm excited to see what they do with the Rocket X3 after this, and it is a comfortable shoe, but it's also kind of a weird shoe. But I was able to lock into a groove with it. 14 miles on the morning. Time for some calories. We got a refuel, baby. Let's do it. The thing with this shoe is it's almost like how long can you hang on? How long can you hang on using this form without getting super tired, without your upper legs just getting crushed? Because it works the upper legs, man, which is something that the OG did not do. So. It sounds like sausage.
Scouting expedition.
Yes, I am. The hungry hobby jogger scavenges the kitchen. He raids the pantry for recovery mix, tumbling an aged sports drink in the process. Homemade cornbread. I'm gonna steal some of this. And bang, some Tailwind recovery mix. And then I'll have a big meal in an hour or so. But this should hold me over. I want to nail this refuel perfectly today. Perfectly. So that my second run is not miserable. Cheers, mate. Alright, I'm about to go film a deals video for IG. Make sure you follow the Supwell Running Instagram if you're not. And this is what I'm going to eat for lunch when I get back. So Charles warmed up some chili for me. We got some more cornbread. And then I have a nice chicken sandwich here. It's vegan chicken. I think this is vegan buffalo chicken with some Dave's Killer. And then I'll make some coffee when I get back in. But that should be enough calories. And what time is it? It's 11:26, so hopefully we can eat this quickly and be all digested and ready to get back out there around 1 something. That's the goal. Gosh dang, bro, this Instagram thing is a lot of work. Go follow the account. It's got me back out here doing another filming session. I'm trying to make a shake though. We're trying to grow stuff. Go get your Max Cushion Gang hoodie while you're at it. What's up, Hobby Jogger Nation? Man, if you haven't heard the mixtape Adjust to the Game by Larry June, and you're a rap fan, or if you just need some good vibes, go listen to it. It's what I listen to every morning. Adjust to the Game every morning in 2023 when I was just starting out this journey with Supwell. I wake up every day. I would actually come out right here to make my coffee, and I would fire up Adjust to the Game. And then I would start grinding some beans and grinding some work. All right, this section of the video is specifically for my guy Fuel Up. Fuel Up. He's a beast. He's running with his son, stacking miles in the Glide Ride Max, and he's been asking me for a coffee tutorial because he said he got some of these beans and he just wanted to see the process here. So this is the setup. It looks complex, but it's not. And before I get into any of this, let me tell you right now, quality beans are the mileage of coffee. You can forget the kettle. You can forget getting an expensive fancy grinder. It doesn't even really matter what brew process you use, as long as you get it roughly correct and you get your ratio and everything correct. But getting the quality beans, it's going to make a huge difference. You can't make a banger cup of coffee with some subpar beans. Now, I'm not saying this, and I'm really not a coffee snob. I like having good coffee, but I'll drink the hotel coffee if that's what there is. I'll drink the cold brew if that's what there is. But if you want to enjoy your coffee and to have the best tasting coffee, it's like if you want to have the most enjoyable race possible, you got to stack mileage. If you want to have a great cup of coffee, it all starts with the beans. So this is what I'm rocking with today from Black and White. My favorite roaster right now, the Edinson Argote Thermal Shock natural process. This is insane. This is my favorite coffee of the past year. So my ratio, and it's pretty strong. My ratio, I'll typically do 25 to 30 grams of coffee. Let's just call it 25 for most people. Don't try this at home. 25 grams of coffee, and I weigh it out. Same exact scale that I use to weigh the shoes, actually. We're a one-scale family. We all trap off the same scale. Charlie uses this for her sourdough, too, which is hilarious. I'm actually going to go more than 25. Little secret here. I'm going 30 grams. This is a lot of coffee. But yeah, you go 25 grams of coffee here and 350 grams of water. So I weigh it out. And then let's see what we have going on. This is the Encore Baratza grinder. I'm of the mind, though, the grinder doesn't matter that much. And people get so obsessed with this stuff. You have to have burrs, not blades, to get the even grind. Bro, it doesn't matter, man. It does not matter. As long as the coffee is ground up to a decently fine size and you want it to be finer, the less you're brewing, the finer you can go. The thing is, if you have super fine coffee and I'm doing a 2 or 3 cup in the Chemex, it will muck it up and it will be over extracted and it just won't taste that good. So 1 cup of coffee, I'll go to the finest setting. I don't even know what these numbers mean. This is what I'm saying, bro. I keep a very simple mindset when it comes to this stuff. Just crank it down to the finest setting and then let it go. And then while that's going, we got our kit. So when I'm doing the 1 cup, what I'll do is the pour over. This is the Hario 2. I think it's the V60. It's a Hario. It's not very expensive. You can get it on Amazon. And then I do have the filters. I just bought these again after, I don't know, I probably haven't had these for 2 years. I've literally been using the huge Chemex filters. So these are what I use in the morning for this. Again, this stuff doesn't matter that much, but I like the unbleached filter. Some people say the unbleached filter gives a paper taste and you want the bleach filter. I just go for the unbleached. It feels more natural to me. It feels healthier to me. And these actually just fit better in here than the Chemex ones. The Chemex ones are excess paper. So bada boom, look at that. These fit in perfectly here. Now this is where we get to the part of actually brewing the coffee. So this is an extra step I do that I learned a while back when I first got into this stuff. Pouring the water on the filter. You're rinsing the filter. Theoretically, this is supposed to get off all the paper taste. So pouring the hot water in the filter, the paper taste will go away. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like the double threshold of coffee making. I just do it because I started doing it one time. And that's the thing with my general approach here. I started doing it one time. It works for me. Why mess with the system? So that's the first step after your coffee is ground up. And then you can pour all that in here. Bada boom, bada bang. We have this good to go. And now with the scale, I do have a scale that has a timer on it. If you don't, you could use your phone. But again, I would suggest just picking up one like this that has the timing capabilities because you have your grams and you have your timer right there. So I will start and then I will pour. And so for this first pour, this is the bloom. You go 50 grams of water on the bloom. And look at that, 56 grams of water. Am I going to have a panic attack because it's 56 grams of water? No, I will not. Sometimes it might even be 75 grams of water on this first pour. I'm not very precise with it because, again, if you have the quality beans, it's really hard to make a bad cup of coffee if you get all these steps even within 30% of what they should be. So it's an art, not a science here. And these are all guardrails. So look, 30 seconds on that bloom. We're now ready to go. This is a bigger pour here. 150 will be the total amount of water, but this is a 100-gram pour, so I'll keep going. I do it in a spiral. You just want to make sure you're wetting all the beans and you're not pouring too aggressively. And again, if I'm on vacation, I might have a kettle that really blasts it and pours it too aggressively. This kettle is nice because one thing is I can set the exact temperature. I set my water temperature to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 203 right now. And it has this gooseneck, so it's a very controlled pour. This is like a barefoot shoe with how much feel you have up at the front. All right, bang. That's 1 minute, 30 seconds, and it's drained now. So you want to go by the time, but you also want to go by the drainage. So now it's ready for the second pour. This is 100 again. And the reason why you do the bloom at the beginning is theoretically, I don't know how much I buy into all this stuff, but theoretically it's supposed to get any of the acidity and extra bad flavors out. You do the bloom to get it activated, and then any of the extra stuff is supposed to come out. You see how it's all the steam is coming out. So we wait till 2 minutes, 30 seconds. We're now at 255 grams, and this will be the last pour. Some days I don't have 4 minutes. Some days I'm out here making coffee with 3 minutes. So you know what I'll do? I'll just do the bloom, and then I'll do 2 pours a minute apart at 150 grams each. And guess what? The coffee still tastes pretty dang good that day too. So last pour here. And then, yeah, in terms of the setup, grinder, you can get one a lot cheaper than this. But guess what? We've had this thing since 2020. We've had this for more than 4 years. Haven't done any maintenance on it, knock on wood. Just fire it up every day and it works. So definitely has given us back what Charlie paid for it. She got for me as a present. Same thing with this kettle here. Got all this stuff around the same time, and it's held up well. But you can get grinders that are cheaper as long as it grinds up the dang beans. You can even get a hand grinder to do it. You don't have to use this. The one thing I would suggest, if you are gonna use a kettle from Amazon or something that doesn't have the gooseneck, you can pour your water into this first or something like this to get that more controlled pour. That's what I'll do sometimes if I'm traveling. I won't pour it directly from the tea kettle into the top of the coffee. I'll pour it into something like this where you can get more of that Barefoot Mafia feel up in the front. It's the one thing Barefoot Mafia is good for. So there we go. Look at that. Full cup of coffee. And now this is the most important part to the hobby jogger coffee making method. So after it's drained, take it out. And we got to taste test it. Taste testing is the most important part. And of course, cleaning our tools. You want to leave a clean station, especially if you have a spouse in your house. You don't want to leave your coffee station all askew and askance. And look at this. I'm late to a meeting. I'm actually meeting with the sunscreen company. This guy reached out to me. See if he's got anything cool to talk about. All right, one sip. Everybody knows the rules. Fire. Thing is, these pungent, strong coffees, they do taste best with 5 to 15 minutes of cooling, so it'll just get better as we go. All right, work time. See ya. Run number 2 I was just getting changed, but I wanted to show you guys this. So we're cooking up some Supwell running shirts. This piece is sick. I've been loving this. Barrett, the designer, he got his in yesterday, and this material is just super nice. But I'm trying to still finalize the designs. This is one that we were messing around with. Let me know what you think of this one. So this has all the fun slogans and logos from all the various shenanigans we get up to. We got the Carbon County, the mileage, the slugs to keep the mustard on the dog. I'm not sure if I'm going to include this piece in the drop. I might just keep this as the Chief Sicko collection only. But if the real sickos like it too, maybe we'll drop it. Or maybe we'll make this a Supwell app exclusive. I don't know. Still trying to figure everything out. But Barrett has been chefing up some crazy designs. If you saw what he posted on the app the other day, we're going to have a running shirt with some of that same spirit in it. Right, run number 2. Let's get out here. I don't really feel like running 8 miles right now. But gotta do what we gotta do. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Still cold. It is still brick. Oh my gosh, I have to get a vest for this. I've had so many people in the past 5 hours since I woke up this morning and checked the comments say that they're buying S4 Plus on eBay. It's just hilarious. Grant, our social media guy, said he's getting some. And one of my guys, Fuel Up, who I did the coffee video for, he said he's getting one too because he's a big fan of the Glide Ride Max. Dude, somebody was mad disrespectful in the comments. This UK bloke talking about this is the pointless review because you can't buy it in the Western market. Bro, don't bring that European energy up here on the channel. Talking about only things we want to see in the Western market. I'll talk about whatever gosh dang shoes I want to review. I'm going to start reviewing African market shoes only. Really make the Europeans mad. Alright, afternoon run, let's do it. I have 9% on my watch. Can I make it 8 miles with 9%? I think I can make it 8 miles. Dude, weirdly, out of the gates here, these feel better to me this afternoon. Just first few steps, and then this morning. It's that comfort, man. The comfortable foam and the bounce. But gosh dang, it is putting me right up on my toes. It's almost like the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. If you wouldn't get that shoe, I don't know if you should get this one. Holy cow. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it nice and smooth this afternoon. Just relaxed aerobic pace. It's a beautiful day. The wind is picking up. But we've got blue skies and birds. A bloop and a blast, baby. Dude, I was on Running Warehouse yesterday. Their homepage, they're advertising the Cielo X1 2.0. And it's a picture of a dude stretching close up. It's just his hand stretching his foot. His hand is touching the Cielo X1, and there's a Kenya bracelet, a Kenyan flag bracelet. The homepage is just a close up. So they're trying to tell you Cielo X1 2.0, it's a fast Kenyan marathon race shoe. Mile 1, 8 flat pace. It's not bad for this pace and for this effort, more importantly, because your relaxed effort could be a faster pace or a slower pace than mine. But for a relaxed effort, it's not bad, and the foam is still nice. It's just tipping me forward so much, and I still have to be right up at the tip top of that platform. All right, so we're at mile 15 on the day here, and I finally figured out this shoe. I figured out what the issue is and why I'm not loving it. It's the foam. They've changed everything about the shoe. They changed the upper, they made it narrower, they changed the cutout position, but they've left the comfort foam. This foam is just okay. It's a tier B foam. If this had a different foam, this would be an awesome shoe. Right now, it's a good shoe. It's just the midsole is still a step behind. Regardless of the weight, this midsole just doesn't feel fast. This foam just does not feel fast. Here's my prediction. I think a lot of people are gonna buy this, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's fine. But if you have an Alphafly or an Endorphin Elite or a Metaspeed shoe, I think that's what you're gonna race in. People are gonna buy this and race in whatever they have already. This still doesn't feel like the fast racer that Hoka wants it to be. Mile 2, 7:30. We're on instability watch for the rest of this run as well. Keep you posted on that. I'm gonna give out some free game here. Go to runningwarehouse.com. The Wave Rebellion Pro 2 is on sale. I think it's something like $170. $100 cheaper than this thing. Better foam, faster, probably just as light too. That's just a better version of this. It's my free game for the day. And if you're on the Supwell app, this part's not free because you gotta pay. But if you're on the Supwell app, the discount code will take 10% off of that. But everybody just wants the latest and the greatest, so just gonna buy this regardless of what I say. Might as well review toe hitches or something. Yeah, man, anytime I try to run hard in this thing, I'm just getting annoyed at how much foam is in the midfoot. This is a confused shoe. You guys ever read The Mixed Up Chameleon by Eric Carle? It's a banger. If you have kids, go pick it up. It's all about being yourself. Because if you try to be other people, it just doesn't work. That's what this shoe is. It's the Mixed Up Chameleon. I might have to run this thing so hard into the ground with my reviews that they bring back what was good about it in the 3.0. That's the vibe I'm on right now. This is just annoying me. Also, the rollout strategy of this made no sense. We've now seen 2 versions of this before an update to the Rocket. If they had updated the Rocket before this, maybe this would have made more sense. But even looking at this isolated in a vacuum, it's a confused, mixed up, jack of all trades, excellent at nothing shoe. And for $275, I need you to be great at something. It's too stacked for speed. too aggressive for comfort. I forgot what made me me, so I tried to be another. The Cielo is all mixed up. It's mixed up. It's mixed up. The Cielo forgot. You forgot what made it great. It's too tall for 200s, too narrow for the marathon. I could keep going like this, but I'm not trying to drone on and on. The Cielo is just a mixed up kind of shoe. If you're thinking about buying this, get the one and not the two. It's like a pair of wheat Timbs in Georgia or a cowboy hat in New York. It's like swimming in a snowsuit or offering pork. It's a mixed up kind of shoe, and the name is mixed up too. They couldn't even call it the X2. When I say stack, you say mileage. Stack, mileage, stack, mileage. When I say daily, you say grind. Daily, grind, daily, grind. When I say put in, you say work. Put in work, put in work. When I say why they, you say mad. Why they mad? Why they mad? It's a weird shoe, man. But both times I've run it today, I've gotten to the end of the run and thought, man, I could go for some more miles. Is that not what we want in a marathon training shoe? It's just that with everything I've thrown at it so far, fast 200 repeats, a longer run. This morning we almost hit 2 hours, as in what, hour 45. And now this run, a nice steady cruise right in my everyday zone. Wasn't fast, just clipping off mileage, and mileage type of run, mileage type of day. It's not shining at anything, but it's leaving my legs really fresh. This is the best I felt all week. At the end of a 22-mile day, I did a treadmill marathon 5 days ago, and I feel like I could keep clipping them off. I saw Charlie's car wasn't back yet, so I was, walking up the driveway. Should I get in 2 more, make it a 24-mile day? No, I'm not going to do that. I told Charlie the other day, you know what I told her after I did the treadmill marathon? I said, I'm not chasing mileage anymore. I'm not doing shenanigans. I'm not just going to run aggressive mileage for the sake of it. And you know what she said? Nothing. She just gave me that look. If you have a spouse, you know that look. She gave me that look that said, boy, why are you lying? Double run day, so we were getting a double breakdown. We got some weird shadows going on here. We now have 30 miles on the Cielo, and what I noticed when I was walking down here, look at this. This is where the main wear pattern is. It's catching right on this midfoot to rear area because I'm more of that heel striker, and this is where it's rubbing. It's actually not back here because it's impossible to land back here. It really is, because the shoe puts you right on the middle of your foot. We can make this quick though, so let's throw up the run from this afternoon. 8 miles. I was clipping them off. I feel much better than I thought. And I think I'm not giving this shoe enough credit. It might be one of those shoes like the Super Blast 2. And I haven't brought out this framework in a few weeks, but the performance versus the feel of it, where the performance of a shoe like a Super Blast, for me, is great. It's decently bouncy. It's giving me speed assistance. However, the feel of it is clunky, awkward, firm. The bounce doesn't feel like I would expect it to, and that's what I'm getting here. Now, there's nothing unpleasant about the foam. There's nothing unpleasant about the rocker. The only slight unpleasant thing is the way that the back of the shoe makes me land closer to the midfoot, and just some of the geometry is not my favorite. But I'm finding the foam doesn't feel that explosive. It doesn't feel that bouncy, but I'm so surprised how good I feel right now, how good my legs feel after this 22 miles of running at the end of another high mileage week. And it seems that's what they've designed this to be and to be that assisting shoe, assist you with mileage. maybe not so much with speed, but hitting those faster paces and having you feel fresher. That's exactly what a shoe like the On Cloudboom Hyper is designed to do. So maybe my expectations for this shoe weren't right, and it also takes a while to learn how to work with these products, but I'm thinking this might be one of the best tools for high mileage training and having the legs feel fresh. So maybe it's not gonna feel the best for ripping off 200s or 400s. Maybe it's not even gonna feel the best for ripping off marathon pace, but it seems like it's gonna hold up decently well. This foam has that durable feel to it of a Lightstrike Pro. It's not the bounciest, but it is extremely comfortable, and my legs feel so much better than I expected. It is putting me up on the front, and I have to use my glutes and my thighs and the upper part of the legs, but in terms of the impact protection, it's an 11 out of 10. So I'm really surprised, and it is a shoe it feels weird. It's not perfectly natural for anything, but it performed really well today for clipping off 22 miles. That was one of the best doubles I've had in a long time, and I feel way better after the second run than I have in a long time. Now, of course, the fueling has a big part of it. I had that chili and the vegan chicken sandwich, which was perfect, spot on. But man, the stack in here is great. This is exactly what we want in a Max Cushion Gang shoe in terms of the function of the protection. Now, I really still do think this would have been a much better shoe if they just let it be illegal, drop the heel down. If you add 4 more millimeters of stack back here, it would just be a much more natural ride. But they want this to be the flagship, I guess. That's what someone told me. They want this to be the flagship, even though they have the Rocket, and that's the more aggressive shoe, and I have no idea what they're doing with the race lineup now. So that is the one thing in terms of the ride. It's a weird shoe to work with if you're not naturally landing on the midfoot, and for trying to run fast, it's just too much foam up here for me to really get it going. But the protection was great. My legs feel awesome. The bounce isn't the best, but it's a nice shoe if you want the performance, if you want a high performing shoe to leave your legs feeling great. And I think it's gonna do even better for the long run. That's the last thing I haven't done is a 2.5 hour long run. So we'll do that, or at least a 2 hour, 15-minute long run. Maybe I'll throw some marathon pace in there, and perhaps that's where this is gonna shine. But so far to me, it's like a more fun, better version of the Super Blast, which is a shoe that's gonna leave your legs feeling really protected, make it easier to hit higher mileage with some fun, great rocker, clipping off some miles. So Cielo X1 2.0 is a weird shoe. We wrote a ditty to it. We gave it its own song. It's still a mixed up shoe, but hey, maybe I'm the mixed up one. Maybe I've just been using it wrong this whole time. I don't know. We'll have to find out. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Post-run recovery, smashing more carbs, cornbread, blueberry oatmeal bake, mileage. All right, one more thing. Supwell Kitchen exclusive banger here. Homemade pizza, fully homemade. She even squeezed the tomatoes. No, she didn't. But sourdough crust and homemade cheese, which is just wild. Homemade cashew cheese. Look at this. It's like fresh mozzarella, but cashew based. It's a banger. See you tomorrow. How was it?